This conference will now be recorded.
You have anything to read this morning? Okay. You have 10 o'clock?
On my computer, yeah.
I have 9:59.
9:59.
All right, we'll wait one more minute then.
Minnie.
Done? Thank you. Good morning. This is the Town of Ocean Ridge Special Magistrate hearing. Today is Tuesday, January 5th, 2021. It is 10 a.m. We'll call this hearing to order. Before we get started on the agenda items, I'll go ahead and swear anyone in who plans to testify on any of the items on today's agenda. If you could stand and raise your right hands for me. Other right answer. Other one. Thank you. Do you all swear from to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you. We'll turn to the agenda. First item on today's agenda is adoption of the December 1st, 2020 minutes. I've reviewed those and I hereby adopt those with no revisions. And before we get to the actual items on the agenda, I'll just explain the process. I think the faces in the room are familiar, so you heard this last month. But for any violation and status/fine assessment hearings, the town will go first. They'll present their case. You'll again have an opportunity to speak to me, present any evidence you have regarding anything that you want me to hear, to consider, or anything before I make a final ruling. You also have an opportunity to question the town's witnesses, ask any questions of any witnesses that the town puts on. As is customary, at the end of that, after hearing all the evidence, I'll make a ruling. You'll ultimately get an order in the mail that describes and lays out everything that was in my order from today's hearing. If at any point you have any questions, please stop me, ask me. That's, it's a pretty informal process. Formal rules about evidence do not apply. It is a quasi-judicial hearing, so anything you testify to today is taken under oath and penalty of perjury. With that, Town, take it away with item B.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Special Magistrate. The first case is a violation hearing for case number 2020-005. The parties are still working. We're asking for a continuance today. The town still has to do some work on its side, and that's why we're asking for the continuance. After we finish the work that we need to have done, which hopefully will get done this month, we'll be able, either they're going to come into compliance or we'll be back there next month. So we're just asking you to continue this case for 1 more month.
Okay, so to the February hearing date, which would be February 2nd. Has there been any communication? I believe there were attorneys involved. Has there been any communication? Are they aware of the continuance and in agreement with that?
I'm assuming that they are. I'm standing in for Jim Brigo today. I had some conversations with them last month. So
Okay.
we continued the case after my conversations with their attorney. So I'm assuming that, can anybody verify? Yes, they have been told of the continuance, and that's probably why they're not here today.
Okay, perfect. So with that, I will grant the town's request and continue this to the February 2nd special magistrate hearing. It's 2021 at 10 a.m. And I'll again reserve on costs for today's hearing if that's the town's desire. Okay, thank you.
Okay, ready?
Yes,
On
ma'am.
the next case, violation hearing case number 2020-022, Andrew and Jennifer Berkman, 35 Spanish River Drive. This is another case. I was involved a little bit myself on this. The parties have been attorneys very, very well represented, have been involved in negotiations, and there is a pending settlement agreement that I will review today. Jim forwarded it to me, and we will have a settlement to produce to the special magistrate at the next meeting on February 2nd as well. So we're asking you to continue this until February 2nd, where we anticipate settling the case.
Okay. I will again grant the town's request in case 2020-022 to continue this matter until February 2nd, 2021 at 10 a.m. and I'll again reserve on costs.
Thank you. Okay. And the next case, it's a fine assessment hearing, case number 2020-020, Ocean K Condo Association, 6550 North Ocean Boulevard. This is, so you've already had your violation hearing, and it was continued at the last meeting to this, to this meeting. There's been some unpermitted work, dock repair. They're continuing, from what I understand, they're continuing to work on the docks without a permit. We are asking for an assessment of $50 per day, beginning on today's in. And I have the file, and we're asking that you will assess administrative fee of $177.10 for this. And because this is just an assessment hearing, I don't believe that we have to go back through to establish the violation. So that's, I don't know what you're.
The respondents, can we hear from the respondents? I believe at the last hearing, this was set for status/fine. I think if my memory is right, they were having some issues getting state or federal permits.
Okay.
Could you please approach and give me your name again for the record?
I'm Patty Rogers, and I'm the president of the Condo Association in Ocean Cay. And I disagree with your comment that there has not been any additional work done on the dock since the code enforcement officer was there last when they snuck in apparently to pressure treat, but they were carving up the seawall. Was somebody there yesterday? Because somebody said there was a code enforcement car.
No, just to clarify, though, since the initial notice, there have been 2 instances.
Okay, I agree with that.
The actual notice.
Okay, I just wanted that clarification.
So there has not been.
Because I didn't know that since I think I spoke to you at that last time, and I forget the date of that. Okay.
Sir, what's your name?
Ron Webb.
And your,
I'm a resident, number 11, Ocean Cay.
and town attorney, if you could show the respondents the case file. I'm not sure if there's any new documentation in there.
There's some correspondence. So
If you could just present the case file to them and then at the end ask if they have any objection and then give the case file to me.
So these are the orders, and these are some of the, these are some more recent emails since, I don't know if that was since the last hearing.
I think, is this, Kathy, what I had emailed you this last?
Yes, that should be
Okay,
exhibit
okay.
2.
And then these are all this is the order granted to continue. So I'll just let you
Okay.
just take, if you want to just take a look.
Brian, did you want to see?
I
think I've already-
can't read this.
Okay.
All I'd like
Can't
to
see
say
it.
is, as far as I know, there has been no more work done since we were here the last time. And we've been diligently in the process of applying for this permit. I even have a friend that's in a permit expediting business has been following along with this. And it's my understanding that we're caught up with the US government trying to get their permission on the water deal or whatever it is.
Army
And-
Corps of Engineers.
And we are diligently filing this process, but we're at the mercy now of the government. And what I'm hearing through the grapevine here is that this thing should be acquired within the next few weeks. So, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. We're a victim of circumstance here.
Someone, Christian from the Army Corps of Engineer, which is in this exhibit, had sent an email to David Beal, that's the owner of Seawall Doctors. And he stated that because of COVID and the holidays, that he should be getting his permit the second week of January. So that should be forthcoming. I don't know about the other agency.
Okay. Town attorney, can you give me the case file?
Sure.
Ma'am, do you have any objection to that file?
No,
Or any of the
not at all.
exhibits in it?
No,
Thank you.
never. Thanks.
Should you continue?
Thank you. So I'll enter into the record composite exhibit 1, which is the town's evidentiary case file. So ma'am, if you could, while I'm looking at this briefly, since you were here last, what have you done? Yeah, you're tracking
The
the permit?
attorney had sent
Nothing
him
new, but.
a letter stating that he had to do something. And then he got all in a tizzy because he thought we were suing him, that another member of the board had contacted David Beal because he won't speak to me. He thinks I caused all the trouble, but that's when he stated that he was trying very hard to get this thing accomplished and was in communication with the Army Corps of Engineer. And there's a paragraph in that exhibit that I believe his name is Christian, that said that because of what I already stated, that the holidays and COVID, that it wasn't a big deal, that he thought it would go through fairly fast. Wasn't a big job. There's not that much left of the dock to do. And that he should have his permit by the second week of January.
Special Magistrate, I mean, I would not be opposed to continuing the case one more month if during that time frame we could get something in writing from them.
I'm begging this guy, so what is the problem with your giving us or sending our HOA and
Right.
the town of Ocean Ridge this information that it would only help the case for you to
Sure.
give copies to everyone, and we've been pleading. Kathy knows, but I don't know what's wrong with this guy, but,
Well, if you would give us the information, I'm happy to reach out to them.
well, I emailed Kathy as soon as I got this email from the other board member, and that's Butch. So we're keeping our fingers crossed, but we just want him to come in. There's not that much really to do, and we just want rid of this guy.
You're just waiting for
Yeah,
permits to be
and
issued at
it's
this point.
just so much more work and expense to hire another contractor and have to replace the material. And so that's, we're just, yeah.
So and my recollection, I think this is confirmed in these emails, but you also need a DEP permit, isn't that right?
Yeah.
Do you have that yet, or are you still waiting?
I don't know, I haven't seen anything. So I'll get Bitch to fire under him.
Right.
But I don't know from the photographs that I furnished Guy that it doesn't look good, but we'll see.
And have you applied for that DEP permit? You've applied for
He
both?
said that he had, but we don't have any proof
You
of
don't
it.
have any documentation of that? Okay.
And you haven't been able to reach out to DEP? I mean, they have not,
I tried and we just can't get through their phone system.
I email everybody, phones are,
Okay.
right, I would suggest.
Well, I didn't know until now that I have a name that I can contact him directly, but I couldn't get through.
So the town is okay with continuing this one more month?
We are, but I will tell you, I need to see something. I believe everything you're saying, but we really need to have something in writing from somebody. I don't know if you should copy Kathy on the emails that you're sending to them, but we need to have something concrete
Okay.
for the file because this issue, we don't want to treat you differently than we treat someone else.
No, and you've been
So,
very generous.
so we're okay with continuing it, but I will tell you that I won't be okay with it if we don't have something to show,
Totally
That-
understand.
you know, we're moving forward.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I think we had this conversation too, but just to echo what the town attorney said, even though you copy the town staff on your correspondence and your progress over the next month, bring that documentation to the next month's hearing and
Okay.
show it to me. Because I also am in agreement with the town attorney that although they're trying to work with you, they understand that there are some, there are time constraints anytime you're working with state and certainly federal permitting. But bring us proof, bring me proof to show me that you have been diligently, I believe you, that's your testimony, but the more you can bring here to say, I emailed them, 17 times since the last hearing, I'm not getting a response, the more amenable I'm going to be to be lenient. But as the town attorney indicated, these issues, unfortunately, they can't go on forever. So we hope that there will be resolution. I certainly hope that there will be resolution by the next hearing. But again, bring bring whatever paperwork you can, whatever documentation you can to show. I guess the two things I would be interested in are some kind of proof that you have applied for the DEP permit. So hopefully you can get in contact with somebody at DEP. I know that they have an online system. You may be able to try to access that. But something giving me evidence that you are diligently pursuing not only application, but issuance of the permits that you require. Anything further from the town?
That is all, thank you.
Anything further from you, ma'am, or you, sir?
No.
And is there a cost recovery sheet in here for today?
It should be yes.
Let's see. I'm seeing one for December, but not, yeah,
What I might do.
Is that the 17710?
here we are, yep,
Yeah.
177.
I'm sorry, I wrote it on the front.
That's okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, so in case 2020-020, I'm gonna find that the respondent remains out of compliance with code section 67-51, 67-60 of the town code, and section 105.1 of the Florida Building Code for work done without a permit. I am gonna grant a continuance in this matter to the February 2nd, 2021 hearing. I'm gonna require compliance by February 1st. So if you can obtain your permit by February 1st, certainly anytime you get any of your permits that are required, submit them to the town immediately. Don't wait until the hearing to do that. If you haven't been issued, ultimately what you need is the town's building permit, but you need the state and federal to get that. So if you are able to comply by February 1st, great. If not, you'll be back on February 2nd for a fine assessment hearing. I will reserve, the previous order, I think, allowed for up to, yeah, I'll continue the daily fine of $50 a day if necessary at fine assessment hearing on February 2nd, and I will assess the administrative costs in the amount of $177.10 for today's hearing. And you'll get an order with all of that in the mail.
Okay.
But as I said, next month, come ready with every piece of paperwork, every piece of paper, every record of phone calls, everything that you have to show me that you've made. Hopefully you'll have a permit by then, but if not, bring everything you can to justify, because likely at the next hearing, we're gonna have to start fining you just to expedite. But with that, you'll get the order in the mail, and hopefully you'll get your permit, and I won't see you next month.
Let's hope.
Thank you.
Because I like it here.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. We really appreciate your generosity. It's been difficult.
Anything further from the town for today?
That is all, thank you.
Okay, we'll adjourn this meeting at 10:17.